Hello, everyone. Welcome to the July. Wow. Welcome to the August 8th. Man.
Good morning,
Welcome to
Doobie.
the 10th edition of Disney Bark Talk Live, featuring myself, Doobie Mosley, co-founder of Laughing Place and host of this very show, and the one, the only Mike Celestino. What's your job, Mike?
Southern California lead reporter, and I'm editorial director of Star Wars content at laughingplace.com.
Dang. And the other one and only, Jeremiah Good. What do you
I'm
do?
the guy who walks around the park behind the child, just going do 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 do.
I was gonna say you should say Baby Yoda's catchphrase, but it doesn't really have a catchphrase yet.
I'm also a little concerned that you're walking around the park behind the child. You may not want to brag about that one. So we're here to talk about the latest Disney park news from around the world for the past couple of weeks. I think it's been about 10 days since we've done one of these. Before I get started, just like to remind you, make sure you subscribe to our channel, however you're watching this. Also, make sure if you're on YouTube, you ring the bell. That really only works for the trivia. That doesn't work quite so well for Disney Park Live. So why don't we get started on the East Coast, and then we'll probably get to Mike a little bit, and then maybe some more on the East Coast, because frankly, Disneyland is still closed, and there's not a lot of West Coast news. So, Jeremiah, you want to catch us up on what's going on the East Coast?
Wait, on the West East Coast?
The West East
Coast. Talk about Busch Gardens again?
Isn't that where they built West Eastcott?
Oh.
Don't be that guy.
So right now, the parks are all open, going great, unless you're an annual pass holder, and then you can only get into, like, I think it's only Epcot in 2 weeks. Yeah, everything is blocked out for all annual pass holder, or not blocked out, but the park pass reservation system's full for, I think I saw this last week in the month, Monday through Friday, Epcot was available.
So do you figure that's going to stay the case, or are they kind of holding off and then they'll open up more as people? Because I know they talked in the meeting about how they're getting lots of cancellations.
I actually just got an email today, because tomorrow I'm going to Magic Kingdom, saying, hey, don't forget you have a reservation tomorrow. So I think they're trying to double up on that, because I'm sure that everybody went in there the first day, just like we do when we trying to get things, we book it right away, and then we may have to change it, but not everybody cancels.
Sure, because is there a penalty for not canceling?
Sadly, there is not. There was rumor when it first started that you could book, and if you canceled 3 times, you would be put on suspension, but who knows where that rumor actually came from.
I think they should, every annual pass holder that cancels, they should tweet out their picture for public shaming. I think that would have a big impact.
I think no,
not a good idea.
I do not back that at all.
Okay, so it's has that translated to crowds in the park?
I was at Disney's Hollywood Studios the other day, which kind of ties in with this. I'll go into that in a second. And the park was very well. Like I said in our live stream, it's busy in this time of the world. If you compared it to last August, it would still be very empty. But walking into Galaxy's Edge, it was crowded. Like, there were crowds to get into Savi's and the Droid Workshop. So Disney's Hollywood Studios is, it's the smallest park. No matter what they say, it's still small. And everybody goes to 3 places now: Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Slinky Dog, or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I thought they started that new dance show in Animation Courtyard.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you guys talk about that last week? Because I don't want to have to talk about that.
No, you don't have to talk about that. So since they're so full and the crowds are a little bit higher, have they responded by extending park hours?
No.
What have they done?
As a matter of fact, starting September 8th, I believe it was Magic Kingdom and Epcot lose 2 hours, and Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disney's Animal Kingdom lose an hour.
Wow.
Which isn't something that's, groundbreaking, because technically summer's over, and even in this day and age, kids are going back to school when fall hits, so that will cause some change. But the parks have been busy. I mean, again, if Mike were to walk into it for the first time, he would think that it was very empty. But as somebody who's watched from day one where I could throw a rock in Epcot and not hit anybody, to day however many we've been open now and seeing lines for drinks and everything else that extend halfway around the park, it gets a little excessive.
So you mentioned Disney's Hollywood Studios. I know you've been going there, getting your rides, your virtual queue times, but you also took some time out. Want to talk about this a little bit?
Yes, the Disney Orchestra and Friends. I know that's not the full name, and for the life of me right now, I can't think of the full name. Much like they did last summer. Was it last summer with the Pixar? They had the Pixar Philharmonic in there, and they played different Pixar tunes and had some of the shorts and cartoons showing on the screen. But this year, since there is no equity cast that is available, they can't run Beauty and the Beast. So what they've started doing is having a 6-piece orchestra. Thank you, the Disney Society Orchestra and Friends. They run through a couple of songs that represent Disney's Hollywood Studios. They play the Cantina song. They play You Got a Friend in Me, the Monsters, Inc. tune. Beauty and the Beast is how they finish it. One other one. Wow, I know I had this in my head.
Do the characters go in and out? Is this just Beauty and the Beast, or
no? They finish. They start with Be Our Guest. Or the final 2 songs is Be Our Guest and then Beauty and the Beast. So when Be Our Guest comes out, all those characters come out, and then at the end when they start playing Beauty and the Beast, Belle and the Beast come out on either side of the rows, approximately 6 feet from each other. And then they play that. It is something that is great.
Whoa.
I know. One, it's live music. 2, it's a chance to sit down in the, not air conditioned, but in the giant fan air of the Hollywood Bowl. And it's just a nice break. The theater has the social distancing markers. Every other row is closed off. They have it so you're not sitting right behind everybody. Yes. So it works out very nicely. It's a nice place to take a break because there is no other show going at this time.
We have a question from the chat. Muppets? Do the Muppets? I'm not sure what the question is. Do the Muppets show up here? Is the Muppet Show running? Let's answer both.
Yes, they play Muppets. They play the opening tune, which is great fun. And it's even more fun to watch the kids in the audience going, and yes, Muppets 3D is playing, which leads into what we'll be talking about next week during the Dig a Little Deeper, but maybe.
Mike, do you like orchestras?
Yes.
So, sorry about that. I'm just looking. So one of the things that happened since our last broadcast was the Disney earnings meeting. And there was some good news and mostly bad news coming out of that. Not surprising news, but some bad news that they said the COVID impact on the parks and that segment of the company has been $3.5 billion, which is insane. And even by corporate standards, an insane amount of money. But they have said that even though attendance is less than expected since they've reopened, that it is now profitable, that Walt Disney World and its reopening is not a loss. It's making money while being open, which is nice. They've also said that the per capita spending per guest that comes to the park is very, very strong. So maybe there's some pent-up demand there for people who've been missing it. And
I don't know what you mean about spending in the park, Yubi.
So Jeremiah, what have you been spending your money on?
So we'll first start off with the highlight, and this was released last week. It is a Toydarian child doll. It is not Baby Yoda, as everybody says it, but it's actually designed like the Toydarian.
Before you continue, we happen to have a Star Wars expert in our midst right now. So I would like to get Mike Celestino's thoughts on this creature.
I think what Jeremiah means by Toydarian is that it's sold in the Toydarian toy maker shop as an in-universe style toy. A Toydarian, of course, is the species that Watto was in the Phantom Menace. And the same species that runs that shop in the fictional universe that Batuu is set in. I like that. I like that toy. I might pick that up when I see it out here. That's a cool little The Child. We actually, so there's a few different The Child plushes available, and we want to get one of them. My wife really wants one, but we haven't decided which one. Like, we're really taking our time deciding which a Baby Yoda plush we want to adopt.
Having a child is a big deal.
That's true, yeah. But there's this whole like Facebook community that my wife is fascinated by, where these people have bought the Baby Yoda plush, I guess it's kind of a life-size version, and they dress it up in like real human baby clothes and take photos of it, like having picnics and stuff. It's a little creepy, but also kind of fascinating. That's totally tangential and not related to Disney parks at all.
But creepy.
Yeah.
So what else, Jeremiah?
So when the parks reopened, they put out a shirt that was the Together Again shirt. Now they have masks. We have not received the cool masks like Mike has seen at Downtown Disney, but we now have the Together Again. They have blue and pink, so whatever type you want to wear. Really nice. They're the Disney masks, so
Be right back.
they're good.
Oh,
Mike's gone.
I was about to call timeout to go to Mike, but he's gone. So I hope he comes back.
These masks are really nice. Hopefully we're getting some more of the Disneyland masks that have come out. And then my favorite thing, and this is actually the first time that I bought this.
Show off.
Look, I have something to contribute.
Oh, Mike, this is a very important. Someone has been watching you for a long time and has something to say.
Oh, God.
You remember that?
Yep. There's a reference to a live stream I did probably about a year ago from Galaxy's Edge here in Southern California, where a little kid. Oh no, it would have been must have been after the Mandalorian started, because
yeah, of course.
talking about Baby Yoda, but a kid thought that the Yoda that they had available at the Toydarian toy maker was the child, aka Baby Yoda, but it was just regular old Yoda.
And you let him know.
No, I don't know if I said any. Did I say anything? I don't remember. We'll have to go back and check the tape, but I was afraid to disappoint him.
Okay, so back to your calendar.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeremiah.
So for the past 5 or 6 years, they've been coming out with the attraction posters calendar. And each year I've always been like, I'll get it later. And then it proceeds to sell out almost immediately. So I never get the chance. So this time I actually bought it day one. And it has some nice. Do you have the back?
You take beautiful pictures. You didn't send me the back, so.
Oh, of course I didn't.
Right.
So it has Spaceship Earth, that's no longer going down. The Enchanted Tiki Room, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Animal Kingdom, Pandora, Soarin', trying to cut out the glare, Space Mountain, Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, Haunted Mansion, which is just kind of a basic mansion icon, Big Thunder, and It's a Small World. So it's really nice. All the things in here are 11 by 14, perfect for framing. So at the end of the year, you have 12 new pieces of art you want to put up on your wall.
All this is yours for only
$24.99.
And to the best of your knowledge, just the standard old 16-month Disney Park calendar has not come out yet?
It has.
It has.
It has.
Show us.
I don't have it. I know. That was the whole. There was a whole backstory. Go back and watch the stream about my experience buying this calendar at Epcot and the
I remember
joyful cast member that I didn't want to ask for. But tomorrow I'll get some of the pictures of the 16-month.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's kind of the update. One more merchandise update. Sorry, because this is pretty cool. You sent it to me, so I assume you wanted to talk about it.
Oh, yes, the Jungle Cruise pin. There's been a lot of new Jungle Cruise merchandise, just like there's a lot of new Haunted Mansion merchandise as of today on Shop Disney. You can read the entire article on laughingplace.com. But Jungle Cruise has been putting out more and more merchandise. This pin just came out last week. They also have a mini set of 4 different pins that has the skipper, the hippo, the elephant, and I forget what the 4th one is. But the Jungle Cruise is finally getting the love it's deserved for.
Finally?
I love the Jungle Cruise.
No, I mean, me too, but you feel like it's underserved?
Merchandise-wise?
Yeah.
When was the last time you bought something that was merchandise that wasn't Jingle Cruise?
I surely didn't buy anything Jingle Cruise, but I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question about Jungle
Well,
Cruise.
does Shining at the canteen account, the skipper's canteen? Okay.
What, Mike?
Sorry.
So that Jungle Cruise board game has a Parks exclusive edition now, right?
I have not seen it.
I saw somebody tweeting about that, and I was like, "Oh, I got to pick that up." It looked cool. There's like it has a different box and different cards.
I will look for that.
Laughing Place hasn't reported on that.
I know. You saw it somewhere, but not here.
I did. I should have put it in the to-do list.
Well, since we're speaking of things that are happening in the world of Disney but are not yet on Laughing Place, might as well mention this. Rumors abound, not only from the rumor mill, but also from changes in post on what happened at the last D23 Expo, that the Reflections Resort has either been postponed or canceled. Do you have any further information on that, our Water Fountain Central Florida reporter?
No. We have no statement on that. I will say that the last time I looked over at the construction site, it was very, very empty. Like there was maybe 1 or 2 construction equipment pieces on there. And that was right when everything reopened. But, I don't think that they had actually dug down deep enough. They dug a little deeper. To really.
It's not only the song and going deeper on the subject, but it's also how Disney creates all their new attractions. That's like a triple pun. Thank you, Rebecca. I didn't realize it was quite that clever. That's awesome. All right, go on. Sorry.
It didn't look like they had put down any of the structures for what's to come. So I think they could definitely put that on hold or cancel altogether and not have a worry. Yeah,
this was supposed to be coming in 2022. Where was it located, Jeremiah?
It's right where River Country used to be, in between Wilderness Lodge and Wilderness Campground. It would, if you go to the Hoop-de-Doo and you used to walk down that path where River Country was, that would be the backside of it where it'd be onto the water.
So, sorry, just getting some helpful clarification that the review of the game that we have on Laughing Place is actually of the Disney Parks version. So there definitely is a Disney Parks exclusive version.
The tokens, the tokens are different. On the Disney Parks version, it has the striped awning.
Oh, retro.
So
but the box is different too, right?
That's not the Disney Parks one.
This is not the Disney Parks one? Okay. So yes, the box is different as well. This is the standard one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the review that Alex did is Parks.
The review that Alex did is Parks, and maybe I can even grab a picture of that, but we're not going to stop for that. Let's see. So Reflections is definitely at least on hold. We're hoping Disney might give us some word on its official status.
While you're doing that, I can talk about the other local park around here, Universal, that has cut their hours. They're closing at 5 o'clock right now, and as of today, they closed the Poseidon Adventure attraction, A Day at the Park with Barney, Fear Factor, which hadn't reopened after the parks opened. It was right now it's a relaxation station, but that was they kind of announced that it wasn't coming back for the immediate future. And then Kodos and Krang and Storm Force Accelerator are not going to be open anymore.
So they haven't released any numbers in terms of how their attendance is doing or if they're making money or anything the way Disney did in their earnings,
or like how SeaWorld just announced theirs.
Oh, did they? How have they said they're doing?
I believe the quote on our article, excuse me while I bring this up because I came to a dead stop when I saw this.
While you look that up, let me show. That is the theme park edition. You can see it says Disney Parks up here. So a little bit different in terms of the cover.
Yeah, I might grab myself a copy of that next time I'm done. That's nice.
That is really nice. SeaWorld, compared to the same time last year, is down 96% in attendance and revenue.
Do you know what period that's for?
Last year, this exact same time.
Oh, so year to date.
Yeah.
Wow. So that includes the closure period. That's not just saying how they've been since they've reopened compared to last year. That includes all the closure period, which is
correct.
How do you survive that? That is wow.
SeaWorld, SeaWorld has had challenges for many years. Out here, I know before the shutdown, they were starting to see an uptick, but that is definitely painful. I mean, they're out of all three of the Central Florida parks, they are probably doing the most. They're the only ones that are doing fireworks. They're doing the drive-in in their parking lot, which is a great idea, but it's $50 a car.
How much?
$50.
Whoa. Okay.
But they're doing stuff that'll keep people active after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock now.
Yeah. And if Disney did that, people would pay.
Yeah.
I don't know where to do it, but people would pay. Okay. Any other Central Florida news you wanted to mention before we hop over to the jam-packed West Coast?
No, let's talk to Mike.
All right, Mike. Anything at all going on at Disneyland Resort?
I mean, I haven't been there the last time we talked, so I'm guessing no. The parks are not open. I don't think any more stores have opened at Downtown Disney, but most of them were open last time I was there. So Downtown Disney is still going, as far as I know.
No further word on, at one time, it's hard to believe now as we sit here on August 10th, but at one time, Disneyland was scheduled to open on July 17th. And that was put on hold because of, not by Disney's choice necessarily, because of the state situation. And there's been no update on the situation. So
that's correct.
Who knows? But, we've got other stuff to talk about. Mike, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but yesterday, the real brain trust of Laughing Place, myself, my wife, Jeremiah, and Shelley, discussed one of the great attractions in the history of Disneyland, Indiana Jones Adventure. And it was kind of sad that you weren't there, because I know you're a fan. You wrote an Indiana Jones trivia. No, you didn't. That was Nick that wrote that. But anyway.
No, but I did win it, I think. Yeah, I won it.
Even better. Even better. Oh, we have some breaking news on Downtown Disney. Let's bring that up from one of our watchers. Says their trip was great to Downtown Disney. Ralph Brennan say they are opening soon, and thanks for your live feed, Mike.
Terrific. So yeah, Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen, one of the few locations that was not open yet by the time I went there.
It has a lot of outdoor seating, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So I guess that's coming soon.
Upstairs, I think they can open up the walls. So would that work for outdoor? What's the regulations there?
I don't know. Our local CPK has kind of a indoor-outdoor thing, depending on if they lift the wall, and they're not using that. So I'm wondering if that doesn't qualify. But that's pure speculation, which is exactly what I shouldn't be doing on a news program.
How dare you not share your CPK information correctly?
Are you an Indiana Jones fan?
I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Yeah, absolutely. And I watched parts of the stream from yesterday, but I kind of wanted to give my personal history with that attraction, since you guys talked about that a bit on the stream, and I missed. Actually, I can contribute a little bit to the 2 streams I missed over the weekend, because I could talk about Indiana Jones, and then I could talk briefly about Howard, the documentary, which I watched last night.
Howard,
Not that that's parks related at all, but whatever. It's
We hear
laughable.
his music in the parks all the time.
Sure. Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. But I remember being a teenager and hearing about Indiana Jones Adventure opening up at Disneyland. And I lived on the East Coast. I grew up in New York. I spent part of my childhood in Florida as well. So I was a Disney World kid. And I had never been to Disneyland Resort at all until I was 17 years old, which would have been 1997, a couple years after Indiana Jones opened. And I finally got to go when I was looking at colleges out here in LA. My grandmother took me on a trip out here to go to USC, which I ended up going to for school. But while we were here, I made her take me to Disneyland. Sorry, I know you're a Bruin, but we went to Disneyland for a day. And, having grown up at the Magic Kingdom, most of the park was semi-familiar to me. A lot of the attractions are fairly similar to the ones you find down there, except for Matterhorn and Indiana Jones was the real big one. So I think I did that 3 or 4 times during that visit. I just kept wanting to go around. It's this is amazing. And yeah, it was kind of like a dream come true attraction for having grown up as a fan of the Indiana Jones movies. As an adult, I think it's probably my favorite queue for any attraction, except maybe Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at Walt Disney World, because I just love the atmosphere of the Hollywood Tower Hotel exterior there, and interior. But yeah, the Temple of the Forbidden Eye here at Disneyland, I could just hang out there all day. And even recently, they've started doing that thing where if the ride was down for refurb for a few days, they would just let you wander around in the queue. And I loved that. I thought that was great. And you guys were talking about the decoder cards. I got mine here, which they handed these out. Well, this one is from 90s Night that we went to together, Jeremiah. But I do have somewhere the ones that don't say 90s Night on the back. But yeah, it was cool to get the decoder card again. And then, yeah, just hanging out in the queue. I remember when they did that, those few days where you could just go in the queue and the ride wasn't running. Tony Baxter was just in there looking around at some of the new stuff and the photo ops that they added and stuff. So that was cool. Just seeing him in there too. What was that comment? I missed that.
I'm sorry. What do you read better, Mara or Arabesh?
Oh, definitely Arabesh, because at this point, well, there was a point where I was almost fluent in reading Arabesh, but Maraglyphs, it still takes me a little bit to go through.
So Tony Baxter himself was in there on 90s Night, you're saying?
No, it wasn't 90s Night. It was during that period where the ride was under refurbishment and they were letting you just walk through the queue, and they had added a photo op, and they added actually a few more Maraglyphs in the queue as well to translate during that period. I don't know if they're still there. I think they are. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic attraction. There's no denying it. I think that I do have a little nitpick at the part in the ride where the Jeep just stops and it's pitch black around you and there's nothing to look at. I always wondered what was going on there. I didn't understand what that was all about.
Don't the lights come on and show the bugs?
No, that's earlier. I mean, it's after the room with all the skulls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the rats.
The rat room.
Yeah, right before the rats. And it's just a spot where the Jeep just dies and there's nothing. And I just thought oh, this could be a great place for another show scene or something. And that felt like a missed opportunity to me. But there's a couple little things that bug me about it. Of course, for that reason. But otherwise, if the ride is working, if everything's working, I think it's definitely one of the top 5 in the park for me.
Past the boulders, sometimes they'll stop.
Well, my son has a comment. You want to come give it?
Sure. That dark zone is actually, I believe it's a brake zone. If the car isn't far enough along the track at the boulder scene, it will stop there before the rats come out. So sometimes they'll just pass through it. But sometimes you'll stop there for an extended period of time before the rats appear. So it's kind of like an area to stop, wait for the cars to come, wait for it to clear up ahead. Kind of like a block section on a roller coaster. But anyways, Gideon, fun fact. The more you know. See ya.
I absolutely think You're right, Gideon. I believe you 100%, but I can't remember the last time where it didn't stop there for me. And we go on that pretty much every time we go to the park. But yeah, it seems like if that's going to happen, why not put something there to look at, you know?
You may have heard some static. Jeremiah is actually in the midst of a lovely Florida thunderstorm, so that may be related to why he just disappeared all of a sudden. But
okay,
we did Florida first. So
yeah.
Indiana Jones is one of your favorites. You are in agreement with the rest of the world. How do you? I can't remember where you ranked it. I wish I had it. Is it in your top? Was it your best? Do you remember? No, your best.
No. Yeah, it might have been 2 or 3. I don't remember.
You rank it above Rise of the Resistance?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like Rise of the Resistance a lot. It's super, super impressive. But if they had said it during the original Star Wars trilogy, it might have bumped it up a couple notches for me.
You like it more than Tony does, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And the other thing I want to say is I know people have seen the concept art of some of the stuff when they were blue skying the Indiana Jones attraction at Disneyland, and they were going to incorporate the Disneyland Railroad and the Jungle Cruise and stuff. And I just think that would have been so awesome. And I kind of wish they had gone through with that.
Can you imagine how insane that would have been?
Yeah. Did you guys talk about that yesterday? If so, I did not see that part.
We did talk about that. We showed the art and we talked about how insane that would have been. Some of the speculation as to why it was always going to be blue sky and never would have actually been a real ride. Something about water doesn't flow uphill, I believe, was mentioned.
Okay. So,
trying to get the Jungle Cruise up there, but you know, you got to have those blues. If you blue sky up there and end up with the Indy we got, you've done a pretty good job. Because it is, in my opinion, what are we, 20 years later? 95?
25.
25 years later. It is still, it's not my favorite just because of the theme of it, but just thinking, wow, that's an impressive ride. It is still easily the most impressive attraction I've ever been on, even more than, I shouldn't say easily, a little bit above Rise of the Resistance, well above everything else. Spider-Man at Universal and all that, to me, doesn't even come close to Indiana Jones Adventure.
Yeah. So, I've only done that Spider-Man ride once, but I did think it was pretty cool. I'd like to try it again.
It's amazing, but there's something to be said. I mean, I realize it's not a screen-based attraction. There is so much going on there, but it relies heavily on the screens.
Yeah.
What's the ride that we were just about? Rise of the Resistance doesn't rely too heavily on screens, but it's got some.
Yeah.
While Indiana Jones, thanks, Ben. Indiana Jones, really had 0 screens. A scrim is not the same as a screen, in my opinion. So it has no screens, and there's something to be said for that. It's just a phenomenal attraction.
Yeah, and that's part of what I love about theme parks, and what I love about my favorite theme parks attractions is that everything is real and right there in front of you, and looks like you can reach out and touch it. And that's, you know, when we talked about Ratatouille or whatever the other time, I feel bad when I said that I was kind of bummed by that ride, but just didn't give me that same feeling.
We're here for Mike C's honest talking. I need to play the video. You know, we're here for Mike. You know, I should play the video because people that's from I'm gonna play the video for all you people who know Mike, who don't know Mike C. This is the quality that we have. Any moment now. Sorry. I did
says he's back.
I changed the music because I got a copyright violation. Let me get you back on here. You may have not have seen this, Jeremiah, but we want to show that the quality of reporter we have here at Laughing Place. We need to make one of these for you.
Oh no.
Do you feel that there's a lot of upward mobility in the Muppets organization?
Star Wars crochet finger puppets. Wow, real raptor.
I had a Scooter action figure when I was very young, like 4 or 5 years old, and my dog chewed it all up. Hi everyone, it's Mike Celestino with Laughing Place.
Nice.
Impressive work from Mike Celestino.
That video makes it seem like I talk about Scooter a lot.
You are a huge Muppet fan.
I am.
Did you watch the second episode yet, Mike?
Well, I haven't actually seen the first 4, but yes, I did rewatch the second one yesterday.
They need to get rid of the Swedish Chef segment.
Ah, that's my favorite part. No, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's painful.
I think Pepe's game show might be up there for me too, but I really like the Swedish Chef.
I love Pepe's game show. That was hilarious. I love Scooter going, when did you set this up?
I kind of zone out during the Miss Piggy segments, to be honest. I don't care for her as much.
What is the consensus on Muppets now? Because you guys seem to really like it. I've heard some people, and not just Shelley, that really can't stand it. Is there a general consensus out there on it yet?
I think it's just the Muppets being goofy and funny, which is all people really want. There was that sitcom that I thought got better as it went along, but I could understand why people didn't like it as much because they kind of tried to interject like a very like Office style sitcom overarching plot to the whole thing, which is not really the Muppets in the long run. You know, this is more pure Muppet mayhem, I think, and that's
the Muppets tonight was like when it got to the second half of the season, it was much better. Like, but they'd already killed it by that point. But I like Muppets now.
I was just going to say our Disney Park update has turned into a Muppets review, which makes sense because there's a better than 50-50 chance that our next regular edition of Dig a Little Deeper will feature Muppets 3D. If you don't know what that is, it is a brand new weekly show we're doing on Saturdays at 4 p.m. in which we start here and then dig a little deeper. You don't like that, do you, Jeremiah?
Sundays at 4 p.m.
Oh, Sundays at 4 p.m.
Yeah, no, I like it.
There's only so much live I can do in one day. Start here and dig a little deeper. So we've done, our first one was on Casey Jr. Circus Train. Our second was on Indiana Jones Adventure. Coming up tomorrow, we have a special edition as we introduce Cole and our first extinct attraction. He's going to be doing, one of the highly rated attractions in the history of Disney, the American Idol Experience. So we're looking forward to that. And then coming up on Sunday, our next regular edition will be probably Muppet Vision 3/4D. And thank you, Gideon. Gideon also noticed that I said the wrong thing, so make sure we know. Sunday.
I spoke to Frank Oz briefly about Muppet Vision in an interview that I did for a competing website. So I don't think we can include that, but I just wanted to drop it. I just wanted to name drop it.
But you could talk about it, except I don't think you're available next Sunday. So, maybe.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, that's true.
How can we do a Muppet one without Mike? We may have to switch the schedule. We'll see.
I could send you the quote.
No one wants to know this. This is behind the scenes stuff. Let's see. So every day this month at 4 p.m., we're debuting something theme park, either a live discussion or a new video premiere or POV or something. So make sure you subscribe to Laughing Place and all of its wonderful forms so you can be aware of those. Tomorrow at 7:30, we've got an edition of Disney Trivia Live. Look what we've got now. We've got our very own buttons or magnets.
Ooh.
So,
I hadn't seen that. That's great.
brand new, hot off the press. You guys are the first people to see it in person.
We can bring those out.
I haven't seen it in person.
Yeah, I know.
To give them out here. Oh,
what did you say?
You could bring them out to Destination D in November to give them out here.
Yeah, but this is our new prize. Oh, I'm not supposed to show it. Never mind. I'm sorry. No one saw that. No one saw that. I think we have no crossover between our two shows. So. This is why my wife doesn't trust me. Let's see. And all kinds of fun live stuff coming on. Just make sure you like and subscribe. We're live. We're live, I think, every single day now. In fact, coming up in just 3 hours, we've got LP Movie Talk, which is listed on our thing as X-Men. And since there's about 14 different X-Men, I'm not sure which one it is. Do you guys know?
I hope it's the 1999 X-Men, because that's the one I watched.
That's the one you watched?
Yeah,
So,
I believe it is.
So make sure you tune in 3 hours to that, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Jeremiah time. Did you get knocked off by a thunderstorm, Jeremiah?
I did.
That's so awesome. I miss Florida so much.
Yeah,
Vince says it's the original X-Men, so that would be 99, right?
Is that 99 or 2000 or was around then?
It's not the first class thing and all that stuff.
That's the one where you find out what happens when frogs get hit by toads get hit by light.
2000. I was off by a year.
You're off by a millennium.
by an entire century. You're right.
So that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing your opinion of Indiana Jones, Mike. Thanks for everything else, Jeremiah. And thanks, Doobie, for showing up. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.